A lot of people ask me about the title of the book, a lot. And I've had people write me and go, that's not grammatically correct. So here's the deal. We, people in sales, I'm in sales. I prospect constantly. Last night at 11 o'clock at night, I was literally sitting in my bed sending out emails for ICSC Vegas, which is coming up in a few weeks. So I prospect just like you guys prospect. But we salespeople put these negative thoughts in our heads. They just pop in like, for example, I shouldn't send out an email at 11 o'clock at night. You know, what are they going to think? That I don't have a life, or it's rude, or whatever. Or when we're out canvassing, I don't want to go into that store. It doesn't look like they've got any locations. It doesn't even look like they, they're going to last till the next month. These negative thoughts come rushing into our brain, and it stops us from asking a question which could perfectly be the answer to our prayers in some situations with some of our vacancies. So I wrote a whole book and put a ton of stories in the book about the times that I said no, and the times I wanted to say no and didn't, and then ended up being successful. I had a leasing agent come to me once and said, I think we should try Facebook prospecting. And I said, oh, how ridiculous. Literally, I just said, that's like the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. I wasn't on Facebook. So, I was the expert to be able to respond to her because I, was actually not even on the platform. It's become one of the top highest return prospecting methods I've ever seen in 33 years. So don't say no for the prospect. Don't let the negative thoughts pop into your brain because, there's like this unconscious protective nature of those negative thoughts, right? Don't do it because you're going to get hurt, right? Don't ask the question because then you're going to get a no and you'll feel bad. Who the hell cares if you're going to get a no? Ask the question. People say to me, well, when were you able to change? Like, how did you become a no person to a yes person? So I was blessed. My dad was this half full guy. My mom was the half empty girl. Thank God I followed in my dad's footsteps. So I've been, I think, in sales my whole life. I've been selling people since I was 10, and I would go up to any strangers anywhere. Girl Scout cookies, I was the #1 Girl Scout seller. I didn't care. I remember in college, we had to raise money for muscular dystrophy. I took 30 people from my sorority and 30 people from our partnering fraternity, and I made them go stand on a street corner with buckets. They thought I was crazy. We won. We raised the most money. I just, and I think it goes back to, again, having that healthy sense of ego, self-confidence, not arrogance. What's the worst that someone can say? My dad always used to say, what's the worst that could happen? If that's not the end of the world, then go for it. So, but it's hard if you are that person that is afraid of rejection or worried about what are people going to think about me or what are they going to say to me. Right now, we host this monthly book club for self-improvement, and what we try to do is read a book, and then on the monthly book club, we talk about with conversation on how the book's principles contribute to what we're doing in leasing or in selling. And this month's book is called Rejection Proof by Jin Yang. And he did a whole thing where he was deathly afraid of rejection. And he went on this challenge where he caused himself to have rejection 100 days in a row. And what happened from that? If you are watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, I hate rejection, I get hives when I think about going canvassing, read this book or listen to this audio, because I don't have hives going out. I'll go get rejected anytime, anywhere, but the book is phenomenal. And I'm only in the, I think, 5th chapter, but how it has transformed this guy is brilliant. So if you have these feelings of fear, of rejection, Rejection Proof, phenomenal book. a couple weeks ago, Kara, my leasing agent, and I went canvassing, and we went to an area that I'm very familiar with. And as we were driving by this tennis store, she pointed, it's a freestanding building, and she pointed out the tennis store and she said, should we stop there? And I said, yeah, I've seen that place. I think they only have one location. But again, it's great for me. This is why I tell you all to go canvassing with other people, because it's easier to say no to yourself when you're alone. So as I heard myself saying to Kara, I think it's only one store, I literally turned to her and said, but let's not say no for the prospect. And we did a U-turn and we pulled into the parking lot and parked. We walked in, and of course, because karma, likes to do this to me, especially, they had 4 other locations. And I've been driving by that tennis store. I've known about that tennis store for at least 15 years, never went in. 4 locations, crazy. So that was a time where, that just continues to remind me to not say no for the prospect. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of retailers out there. I want the day to come where I've spoken to every single one of them once. I don't know if that will ever happen, but that's my goal.